So in part 2, we have a standard deviation of 0.8. In the last problem, we had a standard deviation of, I don't remember, but it was smaller than 0.8. Remember, the standard deviation is measuring how consistent the data are. In part 2, if the standard deviation were really 0.8, we'd have more variability than we would in part 1. What do you think this is going to do to the overall confidence interval? Let's find out. So we have 33 ratings, and we have a standard deviation of 0.8. We want a 95% confidence interval, so we know by the empirical rule that's 2. Textbooks might say 1.96. 2. And then he still has the same sample mean for this example. It's 1.7, that's x bar. All right, so let's calculate the confidence interval, or compute it. 95% confidence interval for the true mean star rating of this person is given by the point estimate, which is x bar plus or minus the critical value times the standard error. And the standard error comes from the distribution of the sample means. The distribution of x bar. Remember, that's what the central limit theorem was about. All right, there it is. That's the result we're using. X bar is still 1.7. Remember, that's from the sample of 33 ratings. We don't know what his real rating is. Everybody that he could ever date, perhaps, or be rated on this website, raters. 1.7 plus or minus 2 times the standard error. And notice the standard error this time is going to be a little different than it was last time because now we have standard deviation of 0.8. And we're going to divide that by the square root of 33. So we have 1.7 plus or minus 2, leave it, times the standard error, which I'm going to pause to calculate. And I got 0.139. So then I'm going to take 0.139 and then I'm going to multiply it by 2. And get 0.278. That's the whole margin of error. 1.7 plus or minus 0.278. Now let's figure out what our lower bound and our upper bound are for our confidence interval. So we put like open parenthesis low, comma, up. We're just going to write it in this this form. So 1.7 minus 0.278 gives us 1.422. That's the lower bound number of the true mean average number of stars. The upper bound is given by 1.7 plus 0.278, which comes out to be 1.978. And I'm going to write this in the following way. Put the lower bound 1.422. And then I'm going to demonstrate the true mean of 95% confidence between 1.422 and 1.978. So that is the 95% confidence interval for the true mean. We are 95% confident. The true mean with this data, true mean for Dennis is between 1.4 and 1.978 stars. 1.422 and 1.978 stars.